Hello everyone, welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have John. John is from California in the USA. So let's see what John has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Yeah.
So hello John, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Very well, thanks so much for taking the time this morning for the interview. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, how is your day going so far?
Just working, getting through the day. It's very busy, so it's going fast, thank God.
I see. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. My goodness, you are working and you take the time for the interview.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself to be more of a day or night person?
I'm more of a day person, yeah.
Always been?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. At night, I'm bored. But I work on the side stuff, but I am more bored at night, yeah.
I
I don't
see.
like being bored. I like being busy.
Yeah, actually, I had an interview with a lovely man in Australia, and he mentioned something very interesting. He said that his grandmother, when he was a child, they were driving somewhere, and he was a bit bored in the car. He said to his mom, to his grandmother, "I'm bored. I don't want to be here." And she said,
Yeah.
"Just boring people gets bored." I love
Yeah,
that.
that's it.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
that.
exactly right. 100%.
As we're talking about work, so tell me what you do for work.
I do IT for a company that helps kids with disabilities, families with kids with disabilities. So I do servers, computers, whatever, anything IT computer related.
I see. And
Yeah.
where are you from, Jonathan?
California,
Amazing. Born and raised.
born and raised. I'm a Cali boy.
What was the best part of growing up in California in your experience?
Oh, the weather. It's perfect. It's always perfect. It's either a little bit cloudy and 60 degrees in the winter, and in the summer it's 75 and above and beautiful every day.
And
And
you
it's not
always
humid.
and you always lived in California?
Yeah, I actually lived in Tahoe, Nevada side of Tahoe, for 6 years when I was 18, so like 20 years ago.
I see. Okay, so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your point of views and your life overall. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So before we start our journey within the magic box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Something interesting about myself. Um, I have a lot of tattoos.
Really? I cannot see them.
Yeah. I love tattoos, and I'm getting more. So,
Wow.
um, I am.
Yeah.
I have 100% custody of my kids. How about that? By myself as a dad.
Wow. So you are a
Yeah.
dad.
Yes, I am a dad.
So how many kids you have, you said?
I have three: 18-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Wow. So you mentioned
Yeah.
that you raise your kids alone. That's what you said.
Yeah. I have a fiance now that helps me, but yeah, I've had the kids by myself.
Wow. Amazing. My goodness. I think
Yeah.
that's very interesting for sure. Besides tattoo, you
Yeah.
have kids.
Yeah.
Okay, John, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Sure.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my
Okay.
best. Okay, full of rather fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, John, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Right, first question for you is, what is your idea of a perfect day?
Perfect day is waking up without anxiety. Usually I do breath work for that. Meditate. I usually wake up around 3:30 in the morning and do whatever kind of work I do on my side business. And I get myself together before the kids get up and my fiance gets up. And then if it's a work day, having a busy day is a perfect day. If it's a day where I don't have anything to do, I like to get to the gym as early as possible. I go to the gym every day. And then probably a good lunch with my fiance, and back to the house with the kids to hang out and play, relax, get ready for the next week. And then hopefully take the kids out to dinner. You know, and spending time with them is a perfect day for me, really. You know, my family.
Wow. You know what? I'm an early bird. Usually I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, 10 to 4, but
Yeah.
I'm talking to someone waking up earlier than me, 3:30. Wow.
Yeah, every day I got it. And I'm ready to go. I'm so motivated and ambitious right now. So I got
Wow.
a lot of motivation where I can't sleep sometimes, where I got to get up and just work.
Tell me something, as you mentioned about, about anxiety, you mentioned about, you do some yoga, you do some work to, to get yourself in peace, in a good place. Why
Yeah.
is that? Did you always have this routine, or it's just life brought you to this point of your life?
Life brought me to this point in my life because I was well, I still am and always will be an alcoholic addict. So I made uh, things that changed my brain activity, obviously, and gave me anxiety disorder. So I had to find ways to alleviate those anxieties, because really anxiety is nothing. Like I can have anxiety and not know what I have anxiety for. So then I start making up things, and I'm like, okay, it's not anxiety. So, you know, breathe in through your mouth or your nose, 4 seconds hold, breathe out, read. I read a lot. I've read like 21 books in the last like 6 months.
Wow.
So I'm a big reader. I think knowledge is power, money isn't. But you know, knowledge will bring you money. So I do those kinds of things, but exercise at the gym, going to the gym every day makes me feel like I'm not a piece of shit every day, lazy piece of shit, you know what I mean? I don't want to be a lazy piece of shit. So I go to the gym every day. I'm 45 years old. I'm probably in the best shape of my life. And it cures that problem of anxiety almost every time. So, but in the morning, you know, you can't do that right away. So I do breath work. I think a lot. I read a lot. And then the exercise comes in and fixes the rest of the day.
As I can see, you're talking very open about your, your recovery addiction. When
Yeah.
was the moment that realized, okay, I need to turn around my life right now? Did something happen, or naturally you just felt that you need to start a new journey in your life?
I hit rock bottom. I was an IT manager at Stanford University, making like a couple $100,000 a year,
Wow.
and I was addicted to opiates from a surgery a few years back from then. And one day I came home and I looked around, and my house looked like hell. Everything looked like hell outside, and I was like, I think nobody knows. And I had lost my job at that point in time, and I remember I was trying to withdraw from heroin. I did withdraw from heroin for 31 days. It was the worst experience of my life. And I remember hearing my children downstairs and not knowing where they were. They were 5 and 7 at the time, and I
Wow.
didn't know if they were outside or inside. And I just remember thinking, that's never going to happen again. So I got sober from that day. I relapsed a couple times, but off alcohol, not off drugs. But that's just part of my story. And I've been sober now for years. So I'm very happy that I am. It's a struggle every day. Don't get me wrong. You gotta, every day something happens to me where it's like, the thought crosses your mind. It's an addict mentality, right? So, yeah, it just, I noticed it was rock bottom. I had lost everything, literally down to the pair of pants I was wearing. So
Wow.
it was easy to start over. It was easy to get divorced because I didn't have anything to give her. So that kind of worked out in my favor.
There's always a positive thing in the end.
Yeah.
But
And my kids are happy.
absolutely. Thanks, John, for talking so open about it. You know, I think it's about healing as well. When you talk about it, it's like you put it out, and you never know how many people. I got goosebumps now. You never know people watch this interview. They might appreciate you talking so open about it because they might be in the same situation, or maybe they still struggling with some. You know, so you never know. So thanks so much for talking
Well, I
so
recover. I like recovering out loud. If I recover out loud, I help all the people trying to recover silently. And when you recover silently, you never recover. You got to tell somebody you love, then help will start.
And now you're telling the whole world.
I tell the whole world all the time. Yeah.
Next question. Next question for you is, what scares you the most about your future?
What scares me most about my future is probably, it's a good scare. Okay. So I think that trust, or not trust, but pressure and stress is only given to the people that earn it. Right. So I look at stress nowadays as a positive thing, because if I'm not stressed out, I'm not pushing myself. So what I'm scared of is that I'm pushing myself so hard to create something else outside of what I do for a living that it might not work. But I don't believe that it won't work. I believe it will work. But that is a fear of mine. Another fear of mine, probably the greatest fear of mine, is that my kids don't grow up to be happy. I just want them to be happy. That's all I really care about. Happy, successful. Really, if I could give up everything in my life for them to be happy, that's what I'd do. You know. So my worst fear is them to grow up and be unhappy with the way I did things and so on. But that, I think I fixed that, and I'm continually to fix that. I have my son in therapy from, he remembers some of the bad times. So I have him in therapy, and he's doing really good now. He's playing football. He's got his own band going now. And so, and then my little girl, she's just obliviously happy. She's the most gorgeous thing on earth. And I'm doomed, and I know it's payback for me because I was a bad boy when I was young. And she just thinks unicorns and rainbows are flying around her all the time. And that makes me so happy. My 18-year-old's already off and getting married. I'm like, cool, things are good. So, I can't complain, but I can find ways to complain. And then I check myself and I go, there's no reason to complain about that. You always got to remember that you're not alone. It's like the Dalai Lama's happiness, a way to happiness, right? He says, a man comes up to him and says, his kid died. He goes, oh, okay, well, you're sad and this and that. Go tell the whole tribe that your kid died. And he comes back, he tells the Dalai Lama, I told everybody, and I found out that like 10 other people had their kid die too. So now he has a community and he's not alone. And when you don't feel alone in something, just like AA or Narcotics Anonymous, things like that, they help you feel not alone and you feel more normal, because there's, a lot of addiction and a lot of that kind of stuff going on. So you're not alone.
Absolutely. And I think that it's good to say that because, it's true, so true. Sometimes when we are facing challenges, we tend to think that we are the only one facing that. And when you see others talking about it, you go like, oh my God, I'm not alone in that boat. And I'll never be, because there are people, like sailing in the same waves every single day.
Right. The definition of insanity. That's just the way it is. You're never alone. Absolutely never alone.
Next question, John. Let's do it.
Sounds good.
I was like, oh my God, what happened now? It was a sign for you to dance with me sometimes when I
can cut the rug. Don't worry. I know how to dance.
Before the next question, John, tell me, as it's visible, your tattoos, tell me which one, 3 questions in one. The first one is, which one is the very first one you ever had? The second question is, which one is the latest one? And the third one is, which one is the most meaningful for you?
There's 3 that are the most meaningful to me, as you probably already know what they are. The first tattoo I have is a star on the top of my back, under my neck. So that's the first tattoo I ever got in San Jose Tattoo Shop. the most, what was the second question? I'm sorry.
The very first, the latest one, and the most meaningful one.
The latest one is I have an eagle, or not an eagle, but an owl holding a skull on my stomach. That's the last one. And the most meaningful ones are, there's 3 of them, but they all go together, right? So I have clocks. Each clock is set to one of my child's birthdays. So this is 7/18, Sienna, 7/14, my son, John, and then October 27th, Shyla, my oldest, on top. So those are they're all in one to me.
And what's the next one that you are planning?
The next one I'm planning is I'm doing the rest of my stomach down into the lower abdomen area, or my leg. But we're going to do the stomach first, and then I'll do my neck after that.
I think this one is like a map, yeah, going down.
Yeah. It's a follow the trail.
Don't get lost. Don't get lost.
It leads to good places.
Next question for you is, which movie had a big influence on you?
Which movie?
Movie, yeah, had a big influence on you.
Okay. I think that Train Spotting did.
Okay.
Because I was a heroin addict. So that I saw everything in myself there. I was, you will do anything for the drug. You will lose everything for the drug. You will make it your mission to get the drug every day. Literally, when I quit heroin and methamphetamines, because they go together, right? So I have all my teeth though. When I quit that, I just remember that it was like handcuffs coming off. I never had to do those drugs or never had to get them again. And it was like the biggest relief in the world, because literally getting drugs every day, which those kind of drugs you have to have constantly to stay functionable, is a job in itself, more than a regular job. It's 80 hours a week.
Wow.
So yeah, it's terrible.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, John from California. Next question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
I love you. And that's my little boy says I love you all the time, but he's my boy. My oldest daughter says I love you all the time, and she's my oldest. But when my little girl says I love you, it is the most beautiful thing in the world. I don't know why. I love them all the same, 100%. But when she's like, I love you, Daddy, and she's just, so sweet and so nice, and I can't but almost tear up talking about it, right? So the most beautiful thing that's ever been said to me is that. Outside of my kids, though, probably my fiance has said the nicest, most beautiful thing to me, that is that I know you can do it, John. I believe in you is what it is. And my family, I don't speak to any of my actual family anymore, because they can't understand what I went through or what I was, and they never will, and that's okay. So I removed myself from that situation because it was toxic and it was going to lead me back to where I was again. So they never told me those kinds of things ever, and she did, and then I went on a run of doing good things, man. So it's a good feeling when an adult tells you that.
And how did you pass across?
What was that?
How did you pass across to your fiance?
Okay. So this is a good story right here. So 25 years ago, when we were in high school, we used to play around. You know what I mean? And so she was always the girl that I played around with. And then into our 20s, I moved back from Tahoe, and we dated for a little while. But I was a total drunk, and it was really hard for anyone to deal with me. So we broke up then. Then I went off to rehab. I got sober, and I ended up marrying another girl, and she ended up marrying another guy. And then, 7 years of sobriety, I go into surgery, I get addicted to opiates. So I would think I would still be sober now if I didn't have that surgery, but I don't know that, to be honest with you. But anyways, so then she's having problems in her marriage. I'm already divorced, and I see her on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know, da, 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 da. She's like, you want to have coffee? I haven't seen you in so long, and
Wow.
it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that she was cheating or anything like that. We were just, you know, old time friends, right? And that's really what we were. And it's not girlfriend and boyfriend. We just were friends with benefits, really, at the time. So when we met each other again, we hit it off right away. It was like we never missed a day. And she was in the process of getting divorced already. And so we just started talking, and it's been 3 years now, and she drives me absolutely insane, and I
Wow.
drive her absolutely insane because I'm no matter sober or not, I'm crazy as hell, and I like doing that I want to do. And so she can manage me well. She grounds me,
Wow.
and that's how our paths crossed. So the first time we ever talked was on MySpace,
Wow.
25 years ago, and we
Wow.
went to the same school. The second time we got connected was on Facebook. So kind of a cool story. And
It's
I get along with her ex-husband really well because I have
wow.
his kids with us a lot. So me and him, we get along, and
Amazing.
it makes everything better for the children.
Wow. It's so interesting how people they cross our paths, they stay for a while, they life separates us and suddenly bring us back again. And
Yeah.
things it's just interesting how life can be. It's always end well in the end, isn't it? It's always end well. If not, it
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not the end yet, as they say. So I think
Right.
it's great. It's great to know these stories. Amazing,
If you love her, let her go. If she comes back, keep her.
amazing. I like
Here we
that.
are.
There we go. You are giving ideas now for people around the world.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah. I've learned a lot. Believe me, I've been through more than most people, I think, for sure.
Amazing. I have 3 questions left. Okay, let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, as I can see how your eyes shine when you talk about your kids, what's the
Mhm.
most memorable lesson you've learned from them so far?
Is to never dismiss them. I was never given a voice, and I was always dismissed as a child. And I was never told ever. I don't think once, maybe one time, my dad told me he was proud of me. But I make sure that they know that I love them. I think they're beautiful and they're smart, and I'm proud of them almost daily.
Wow.
So it's something that I've learned that kids need reassurance. They're very insecure. They don't know what is going on in life. My son's 13. He's probably going to start puberty soon. I wish he would because he's a little chubby ass right now. So he needs to grow up, But he comes from my ex wife was a beautiful woman, and I'm a very fit man. So he'll be fine. But you just got to reassure them and always give them motivation. I read a lot of books, and I try and tell them about the books in layman terms as much as I can to teach them, that what you're going through, if it's anything bad at the time, everybody else is going through too. Stop thinking it's just you. When you're sick, you're the sickest person on earth, right? Nobody can be this sick, but there are sicker people. So that's that. With the kids, I try to instill in them that life is great. I love them. I'll always be here. I'll never leave them. And I know that it was a worry for them for a long time. So now I don't think it is.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, if you could have dinner with anyone, living or not, who that would be and why?
James Hetfield of Metallica.
Wow.
He got sober as a rock star.
Wow.
And it was hard to get sober as I look like I want to be a rock star, but I'm not one, right? And to have that kind of stuff around you all the time, I don't know how he does it or how he did it. And I would love to sit down and have an hour talk with that man and just be like, what was your breaking point? I know what mine was, but as a rock star, how do you give up that life, right? That life of constant women, and people like me and addicts. That's the life we want. We're searching for. So it would be James Hetfield. Second in line, it would be Jimmy Johnson from NASCAR. Honest to God, because he's just a class act, and I want to learn how to be a better man as well. Every day I'm trying to learn how to be better. 1% better every day is good enough for me.
Wow, amazing. Good. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, next question for you is, share with us a crazy or funny story that happened to you when you were a child at school.
Oh, a child at school. A child at school.
Did you like school?
Oh, as a child, when I was at school. Okay. Oh, I did not like school, obviously.
I don't know.
I did.
You never know. Never judge the book by its covers.
No, I never liked school. You can judge this book by its cover. A crazy funny story at school. This is a little vulgar though, but I'm an open book. I tell you anything and everything. Me and my current fiance in high school played around in the boys' bathroom.
Oh my God.
That's my best memory of school, honest to God. And I remind her of it all the time, and she goes, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I would never do that. I'm like, okay, whatever. You did.
Oh my God. That's very interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
You're a teenager. You're very
He's going to kill me.
No, trust me, you're not the only one. I think a lot of people, they had this experience growing up. You grew up in the 90s, in the 80s, it was a different world.
Definitely.
So there were no cameras, nothing.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I liked it.
Have a think twice. Ask her if it's okay for me to keep this part, because it's very personal, okay? I'll wait your response.
No, it's okay.
It's okay?
No, it's okay. Sure? Yeah, because you can't be with me unless you understand that I'm going to do what I want. She knows that.
Okay, and I'm sure
she loves me for it.
And I know it makes sense actually, because you wouldn't be so open talking about if you knew that she would be a bit upset. So okay, I trust you.
Should be fine. I didn't give you details, so we're good.
That's good. Absolutely. You are very clever.
Yes.
Ready for the last one?
Yes, sir.
Last question. Let's do it. But before the last question, Joel, I'm going to ask a question in 2 parts. The first part of the question is, through your addiction, like since we started until the end, what is the let's say the most positive outcome or positive message that somehow you are thankful for that challenge part of your life? And the second part of the question is, if you had the superpower of erasing that period of your life, would you do it or would you keep it, knowing the person you are right now?
Everything I did got me here right now, right where I need to be. So that I can answer both your questions. I would do it all over this exact same way, because I think that even though my kids had to see that kind of stuff, not my kids, but my son, the little one was too young to understand any of it, but my son is so against drugs and alcohol that he won't even hang out with people that do it. And I'm like, I'll take that. I'll take that any day. You know what I mean? Even though it was not easy for him, I'm glad my kid is very street smart because of me. And I'm glad that he knows that he doesn't want to be that type of person. So would I change any of it? 100% not. You know why? It brings out the truth in everyone around you. You find out who really gives a shit about you. So, no, I'm good where I am. Happy with my past.
Amazing. Very good. Last question is, what is the best or the most memorable gift have you ever received, and from whom?
Best and memorable gift I've ever received. So my grandma Ruth was my enabler, but my mom as well, and someone I cared about more than I cared about anybody on earth. And she would, it wasn't one gift. It is a gift. It is one gift. I would have never experienced love the way I experienced love from my grandma if she was never alive. So the most memorable gift I can possibly have is knowing how to really truly be loved was because of her. That's
Wow.
the gift. It's not material. Material costs money. It's worthless to me. But love is, you always want love, right? And grandma, I never remember being cuddled by my parents or being hugged and stuff. And, I guess that's kind of normal. Of course, parents have a hard time. But my
Yeah.
grandma always would rock me to sleep. She'd let me sleep in her bed with her at night when we were kids. And she passed away a few years back. And when I went through everything, I could have really used her, but I was going through it when she was passing away, so I didn't let her know. But she died in peace, at least. But yeah, love was the greatest gift I've ever gotten. Learning how to be loved.
I think goosebump again. I think grandparents, they love. There is a love between ourselves with our grandparents that it can explain. Parents, they, of course, parents, they're a genuine love, but somehow our grandparents, like grandmother, there's something about it that somehow they, the connection is so strong that we always remember, as you do right now. So
Always, I'll never forget it. I always ask, I'm just waiting for her to come see me. Everybody says they see her in their dreams, and I haven't. And I was her favorite. I was number one grandchild. The first one. So I'm waiting for her, but she gave me everything I needed in life to learn how to be actually loved.
I'm gonna share with you a brief story about a personal event in my life.
Yeah.
I was already living in London, England. I'm originally from Brazil, yeah. So my grandmother, we are quite close as well. She had alcoholism. She actually is not Brazilian. She's from Paraguay. She went to Brazil when she was a teenager. Long story.
Nice.
So somehow we were very connected. There was a love between me and her. Anyway, so on her last days of her life, she was in the hospital for let's say a week, and
Yeah.
my mom was by her side, like, all the time. And sometimes I was calling her, and for the last few days before she passed away, the doctor said, okay, she cannot even move her eyes or anything, she cannot express anything. However, she's still conscious, she still can hear, she can hear what's happening around, but she cannot do anything else. Anyway, so I called her one day, and my mom, I said, Mom, just put the telephone in her ear so I can say something. So
Sure.
I start talking to her, and my mom said that the tears of her eyes started coming out,
Oh,
and it was the only reaction she had since she went to the hospital, that when she stopped, having any reaction, my mom started crying straight away, because my mom was by her side, talking to her all the time. But
right.
as soon as she started hearing my voice, my mom said that the tears were coming from her eyes, and I think next day she passed away. I think she was just
Yeah.
waiting for maybe this moment. So
Yeah.
again, back to your story, I think there this connection, it's about love, it's about connection that you cannot explain.
It's funny that you say that because I had just one more story. I'm sorry.
Sure, no, no, it's
I really wanted my son to be born. So I moved in with my grandmother, me and my wife at the time, so we could save money to buy a house. I really wanted my son to be born before my grandmother died, or I wanted him to be old enough to understand who grandma was. And he was about 6 years old when she died. And I remember walking in the house one day, and she's holding him, and I named him Jonathan as well. She's holding him, she's rocking him. I said, "So, Grandma, what do you think?" And she goes, "It's like having you all over again, baby." That's what she said to me. And so we went to the hospital together, me and John, when she was passing away, and she was completely in a dementia uh, hysterium at the time. And I sat John on my lap, my little boy, and he was young at the time, 6. He sat on his lap, and he grabbed Grandma's hand, and she stopped. The dementia
wow,
stopped. She just stopped, and she didn't say
wow.
anything at all. And it was like she knew. So, like, basically, I got replaced when he was born, which makes me happy. But I never grieved over my grandma because my son hurt so bad when she passed away. So I just I grieved over him. When you
Absolutely.
watch your child hurt, it hurts worse than anything in the world. You can't hurt me like you can hurt my child. If you hurt my child, you hurt me worse.
It's
So
powerful. Somehow she
very
knew that.
powerful.
Somehow was there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Right,
Yeah.
it's not the end. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay, one word for money.
Um, evil.
One word for family.
Water.
Life.
Journey.
Fear.
Fear is fear is not fear. It's an insecurity.
Okay. Love.
Loss.
Love.
Love. Grandma Ruth.
Oh, religion.
God.
Sex.
Amazing.
Politics.
Liars.
Friendship.
Best thing. Best.
Desire.
Motivation.
Regret.
0.
Success.
Future.
Wish.
Happiness.
Say again.
Happiness.
And one word for happiness.
One word for happiness is just one word. Can't I give you a sentence? One word for happiness is my children.
Amazing. One word for California.
Weather.
USA.
I don't have a very good word for USA right now. I think turmoil.
Okay. And the last one now. Recovery addiction. One word.
That's success.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely fiancée for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define John in one positive word and one negative word only. What should say?
A big heart. Heart.
Positive.
Yeah.
Negative.
Positive. A negative thing? Oh, tone. I guess I sound mean and look mean, so.
You don't. You just sound genuine, and I think people who knows you very well, they know what you mean for sure.
Sure, exactly. She knows, but she's like, change your tone. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Like a volume, she needs to go up and down, like she can control.
Yeah. I got this deep voice. She says everybody can hear me across the room. I'm like, I'm just whispering.
Let's play now, John and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, people watching this interview right now, maybe they are struggling with addiction, yeah? If you could give just one piece of advice for those people who would like to start a recovery journey, what would you say?
Find somebody that really loves you and that you trust and tell them. That's the starting point. It's the only way to start.
Amazing. You can ask me a question now, John.
Why do you do what you do?
Wow. You have another 2 hours? Joking. You know what? One word? Okay, I can tell you one.
No, I'm kidding. It's your interview, not my interview.
No, just I believe as you're talking about recovery, about challenges in life, I think all of us, we face those challenges, and I think 2020, when the world went upside down, a lot of people, they struggle with a lot of things, mental health issues, a lot of things happen. Not knowing was a big thing at the time. And I remember here in England, in London, you could leave the house for exercise once a day. So I was literally going for a run in the park, like in the afternoon. And before that, I was already thinking about to create a project where I could connect with people, where I could express myself, where people could express themselves as well. But I didn't know what. The first idea was about music, because I love music, but
Sure.
I cannot use other people's music online. Anyway, long story short, I went for a walk, for a run in the park one day, and this idea came along. And I remember exactly the moment, the place, and I couldn't believe. The world just stopped for a minute, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create some questions. I'm going to research some questions, and I'm just going to follow up to people around the world to see what they think about, what's their opinion." Trust me, John. It's been so great, the journey, because it's so fascinating to see people, be open, talk about their lives, share experience, connect with other people as well. So that's how it started. But before that, saying that, when I look back, when I was a teenager, when I being an adult, I remember back in school, I was already saying, "What's your favorite color? Who is your favorite teacher?" So
you're already doing it.
It was already there. Even as an adult as well, I remember going on vacation with friends. There's always a moment that I was like, "Tell me the best childhood memory that you ever had." So I was already doing that. And actually, I was looking for that. Oh my God, what can I do? And sometimes you're looking for things and it's already here, but you don't know how it's hidden somewhere. So I'm so
100%.
grateful. I'm so grateful for the 2020. Besides the challenge, that the sadness, of course, at the same time as well, I believe that people, they found their way. They found like some creativity. And I'm so thankful for this challenge time, because somehow I could find something that was hidden here, and now I can express myself the best you can. So it's the best thing that happened to me in my life. I have no idea how amazing it is. So yeah.
Great, that's awesome. I think I agree with you 100%. I had an Instagram page that had like 30,000 people on it, and I'd get questions about addiction every day. I got people into rehab in other states, and so yeah, it's very rewarding. Helping another person, to me, is the best thing I can do to make myself happy every day.
Absolutely. Did you enjoy
That's why I take the interview.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks for being so kind and so open as well. And as you said, helping people. And I love what you said. You said recovering loud. How did you say recovering out?
Recovering out loud. Yeah, it's the best thing to do, because there's too many silent people dying.
I really like that, actually. I really like that. It's really powerful, because people, they tend to be close, ashamed, or scared. And when you are, as you said, allowed, it's somehow some good energy comes after you, and you help yourself. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Okay, my message, honestly, is to do you. Don't allow anything toxic in your life to hinder you from doing what you want to do. Because the minute you release that toxicity, or that person that thinks you should live your life this way, or that person that thinks you should live your life this way, you are free. And freedom is what everyone wants in life. They want freedom, peace, and happiness, right? Well, when you get rid of all the toxic in your life, people telling you what to do, people telling you how they think you should live, you're living wrong, you're not doing this right, or they don't go along with your ideas or support your ideas, get rid of those people immediately, because they're just going to hinder you, and you're never going to become anything with those people around you. You got to do you. You got to be yourself. And if you're not yourself, you're somebody else. You're living somebody else's happy life.
Amazing. Very good. Thank you so much. Regards to your kids, to your fiancé, to all your friends, and you keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay? Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Take care, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.